November 1st, 2025. The White House thought the shutdown would be quick. Now they're frustrated. Judges order Trump administration to use emergency reserves for SNAP payments during the shutdowns. Trump working on way to pay SNAP. Gives out crying Chuck Schumer's office number. I do not want Americans to go hungry. MAGA voices drown out the White House's message on SNAP with contempt for beneficiaries. Venezuela seeking military aid from Russia, China, and Iran. Hacked emails allege Jeffrey Epstein helped broker diplomacy between Israel and Russia. Tucker Carlson gave a softball interview to a neo-Nazi. Republicans are having a meltdown, but not for the reason you'd think. How Stephen Miller is turning the U.S. State Department into an anti-immigration machine. ICE plans cash rewards for private bounty hunters to locate and track migrants. Ghouls. ICE agents wear horror masks. Judge blocks Trump order requiring voters to prove citizenship. Once an everyday Californian blue enclave, a beachside paradise is now burning red, and it's coming for Gavin Newsom. Andrew had 40 prostitutes brought into the 5-star Thai hotel within 4 days. Breaking. Singularity achieved as J.D. Vance becomes meme of J.D. Vance. What does 67 mean? Dictionary.com's 2025 word of the year has no definition. Turkish football suspends 149 referees accused of betting. MTV cancels ridiculousness after 14 years. November 2nd, 2025. Donald Trump blasted for throwing Great Gatsby party as SNAP benefits run out. SNL star goes nuclear on MAGA hate for food stamp families. Trump threatens to go into Nigeria guns a-blazing if slaughter of Christians doesn't stop. U.S. strikes another drug boat, 3 narco-terrorists killed. U.S. amassing 1,600 troops off Venezuelan coast, says Washington Post. Men shot by the hundreds disappeared after Sudanese city falls to paramilitaries, witnesses say. Horrifying scenes after multiple people stabbed on train to Cambridgeshire. North Carolina Republicans say texts show that local Democrats are paying for people's votes. In the hot seat. Former CIA director gets heated when confronted over Hunter Biden laptop disinformation attempt. Cold Cash acts as senior FBI lead, says report. Buzz over alleged Gov jet trip to see girlfriend. Left bullies Erica Kirk months after Charlie's assassination. Carney apologizes to Trump for running anti-tariff ad. The ranks of corporate zombies are growing in debt squeeze. Clocks fall back Sunday, but Congress can't agree what time it is. How a great-grandmother helped researchers unravel a dinosaur mummy mystery. Strange signals, thousands of UFOs spotted off U.S. coastlines raise new national security fears, says expert. Danish cows collapse after controversial anti-methane product added to feed. November 3rd, 2025. Mamdani's youth support goes beyond New York. For many, he's now a national leader. Without online trolls, there would be no Donald Trump. Trump brags he could invade your city whenever he wants. Trump says government shutdown ends when Democrats give in. Broken and corrupt program. USDA Secretary says SNAP will be drastically reformed after thousands of illegals removed. How the U.S. economy has defied doomsday predictions on tariffs. Tough talk. Trump says no war with Venezuela, but signals collapse of Maduro's regime is near. Nobel Peace Prize winner calls for military attack on her own country. George Clooney says replacing Joe Biden with Kamala Harris was a mistake. Jennifer Lawrence says criticizing Trump adds fuel to a fire ripping the country apart. Celebrities don't make a difference on who people vote for. Mayor assassinated during Day of the Dead festival in Mexico. Son of L.A. Crips leaders Eugene Big U Henley is fatally shot. British police reassure public that 2 black men arrested for last night's mass stabbing were born in the UK. Mississippi woman kills escaped monkey, fearing for her children's safety. The nightmare is over. Supreme Court outlaws candy corn. What the U.S. media are saying about the Blue Jays losing World Series Game 7 heartbreaker. Toronto produces loser after loser. Former CIA Director John Brennan erupts in anger after being pressed on Hunter Biden's laptop. November 4th, 2025. Dick Cheney, powerful former vice president and architect of war of terror, dies at 84. Government shutdown could become longest ever as Trump says he won't be extorted by Democrats. Poll says nearly 1 million New Yorkers definitely planning to flee New York City if Mamdani becomes mayor. Texas governor warns New Yorkers they'll be hit with a 100% tariff if they try to flee south should Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani win the mayor's race. Sweaty Trump's 60 Minutes interview sparks health concerns. YouTube declines Disney's proposal to restore ABC for election coverage. We have enough nukes to blow up the world 150 times, says Trump. Nick Fuentes started a MAGA civil war, and it looks like he's winning. Panic and misinformation swirl as SNAP recipients brace for slashed benefits. DOJ releases treasure trove of details about Halloween massacre being planned by jihadis in Detroit. Mystery deepens over Special Forces soldier who blew up Cybertruck outside Trump Las Vegas hotel. Father and son killed by swarm of killer Asian hornets while ziplining in Laos. Lead scientist of China's thorium reactor project died working on the computer. Dilbert creator taps Trump to get cancer drug. Others wish they could too. Young Americans making their love for violence clear. Top Portland council aide on paid leave amid revelations he took in homeless woman and abandoned her at state park. Millie Bobby Brown filed harassment and bullying claim against David Harbour before filming Stranger Things Season 5. November 5th, 2025. 2025 government shutdown makes history as longest on record, surpassing 35-day closure during Trump's first term. At least 7 dead after UPS plane crash at Louisville Airport. Mamdani seals victory in improbable run. Surge of voter energy lifts Democratic Socialists to New York mayor. Democrats sweep the first major elections of Trump's second term. Prop 50 succeeds. California voters approve measure to offset damage of Trump's gerrymandering blitz. Trump's maximalist revenge tour screeches to a halt with Democratic blue wave. Trump demands sinister Republican response to MAGA wipeout. Democrats toast Mamdani's win in public, but behind the scenes the Civil War has started. Panic is spreading, and Trump is secretly loving it. UFO caught on video hovering over active volcano before disappearing. Tom Brady reveals his dog is a clone of his other dog that died in 2023. Fourth person dies at Walt Disney World in 1 month. U.S. Appeals Court says Florida can ban Chinese citizens from buying property. Taiwan revokes 50 citizenships over Beijing's infiltration as critics slam move. Biological front lines. How the U.S. built a bioweapons network on Russia's doorstep. Propaganda expert, California liberals still not connecting societal decay to mass migration. It turns out you can fantasize about your colleagues' kids getting shot and still win an election. Tommy Robinson plans to sue police after being found not guilty of terror offense. November 6, 2025. After a dream campaign, Mamdani faces the nightmare of running New York City. Hassan Piker gets reality check at Zohran Mamdani victory party. Jewish FDNY commissioner resigns after Marxist Mamdani wins election. Shakedown in Beverly Hills. High-stakes poker, arson, and an alleged Israeli mobster. Trump teased as possible first FIFA Peace Prize winner. Trump thinks Americans need to show ID to buy groceries. Donald Trump enters his lame duck era. Breaking. Democrats Schumer and Jeffries beg Trump for meeting to end government shutdown. Trump officials to cut flights at 40 major airports if shutdown continues. Democrats' confidence in shutdown strategy soars after election sweep. Media's newest snap sob story shows Democrats are starving for a new narrative. U.S. Navy SEALs eyed for Maduro murder mission, says New York Times. 3 astronauts are left stranded in space after their ship was struck by an unknown object. China crosses U.S. second island chain with deep-sea cobalt mining rover. Judge James Baisberg hit with articles of impeachment following Arctic frost probe. How Oregonians are creating networks to shield their immigrant neighbors from ICE. Obama's DOJ laid the groundwork for the politicization Democrats now decry. November 7th, 2025. Trump's response to Nancy Pelosi's retirement was hilarious. Trump on Pelosi retirement. She was an evil woman. American sabotage. Democrats vow to continue shutdown for sake of the party's brand. Up to 1,800 flights a day could be disrupted by airport cuts. California to be hard hit. Unpaid air traffic controller now just deliberately sending all planes to Duluth, Minnesota for laughs. Federal judge orders Trump administration to immediately deliver full SNAP benefits. U.S. Senate votes against limiting Trump's ability to attack Venezuela. Multiple people at U.S. military base fall ill after suspicious package delivered, CNN reports. The CIA Mossad are officially pushing the narrative that 3i Atlas is a gigantic alien spacecraft closing in on Earth. Justices let Trump enforce new passport policy removing X gender marker. Mass cyclist paints swastikas on Jewish windows in Brooklyn 1 day after election. Cowboys Marshawn Nealand found dead of apparent suicide at 24 after evading officers, police say. OpenAI faces 7 more suits over safety and mental health. Pharma rep collapses as Trump announces drug price cuts. Kash Patel's girlfriend files defamation suit against suggestion she's an Israeli spy. 3 more Chinese scholars tied to University of Michigan charged in bio-smuggling case. Robotaxi runs over and kills popular cat that greeted people in corner shop. November 8th, 2025. Trump slumps into limo after descending Air Force One steps. Democrats finally propose a shutdown deal and Republicans torch it in seconds. Trump orders DOJ investigation of meatpacking industry price gouging. Judge blocks National Guard from Portland, Oregon permanently. Trump scores rapid Supreme Court win as justices swiftly halt full food benefits for millions amid shutdown. Tulsi Gabbard's quest to bring the deep state under her control. Turkey issues arrest warrants for Netanyahu and 36 Israeli officials. EU to establish Ministry of Truth, says The Guardian. Bandaged up Biden says Beau should have been the president, not me, in speech ripping Trump. Mamdani dethrones Gavin Newsom as U-Haul's top salesman. Colbert says he's more conservative than people think. Diddy caught drinking at Fort Dix. Pfizer and Metsera reach deal expected to top $10 billion. No poop for you. YouTuber scraps documentary on India's poop festival after Indian backlash, threats, and doxing. Rivals behind two kebab shops slash each other with metal poles in street brawl. Sydney Sweeney's face when asked about her American Eagle jeans ad is priceless. Man falls 130 feet to his death after slipping over the edge of the Grand Canyon. November 9th, 2025. Travelers completely in panic as FAA cancels hundreds of flights ahead of holiday season. Judge says Education Department partisan out-of-office emails violated First Amendment. A very, very dark moment. Biden lashes out at Trump in first political speech since leaving White House. Faith-forward Texas Senate candidate follows porn actors and escorts on Instagram. Trump throws decadent opera and truffles rager at Mar-a-Lago. Salt and Peppa romp through Push It as they join Rock Hall of Fame with Outkast and White Stripes. PBS executive busted for meth after traffic stop. Florida man arrested after police say he fired shot when he got into an argument about how many eggs a chicken could lay. Trailer Park Boys star Mike Smith charged with SA in Canada. Ghislaine Maxwell prison emails show she is happier at minimum security facility. Network down. FBI thwarts alleged ISIS terror cell's pumpkin plot targeting bars. If that's the January 6 pipe bomb suspect, this story has taken another wild turn. Artist sparks controversy for installation showing a crucified Donald Trump in an orange jumpsuit dubbed Saint or Sinner. Ukraine facing widespread power cuts after generating capacity reduced to zero by Russian attacks. USAID and Clintons behind Bangladesh government overthrow, says ex-minister. Could the next wave of military drones be mosquito-sized? Genetically engineered babies are banned. Tech titans are trying to make one anyway. November 10th, 2025. Senate passes bipartisan bill to end longest shutdown in history as Gang of 8 Democrats join GOP. USDA says states must immediately undo any steps to send full SNAP benefits. BBC leaders resign amid scandal over misleading edit of Trump's speech. Trump booed at NFL game after making wild stadium demand. Trump does play-by-play and broadcast booth of Commanders game. Trump promises $2,000 tariff dividend for every American. Let MAGA eat cake. Trump mocked with AI glow-up as Marie Antoinette. Liberal elites kick the door wide open for Trump's flagrant corruption. Michelle Obama tries so hard to play the victim that she instead provides comedy gold. Crowd chants Allahu Akbar as NYC's next mayor Mamdani speaks in mosque. Two Cleveland Guardian pitchers charged with betting on pitches, they betrayed America's pastime. Live streamers are filming and sometimes creating conflict at Portland ICE protests for clicks and cash. Water bankruptcy. Iran faces day zero crisis as Tehran taps run dry, threatening nuclear program. First overseas gold production project to start in Niger, says minister. The cold truth is you may not know the best way to use a refrigerator. Healthcare system glitch causes hundreds of Mainers to receive letters indicating their demise. Woman born without a brain turns 20 after doctors believe she wouldn't live past 4 years old. She's a fighter. November 11th, 2025. Furious Jon Stewart demolishes Dems for caving to Trump. Schumer faces mounting Dem calls to resign as leader. Senate approves funding deal to end longest U.S. government shutdown. Syria joins alliance against ISIL after White House talks. Trump State Department says U.S. visas can now be denied to unhealthy and fat foreigners. College chaos. Bloody brawl breaks out as agitators stage chaotic protest outside TPUSA event. Upstate New York City one-ups Zoran Mamdani by electing communist student 20. Chased by police, woman covers 173 miles on SoCal freeways before escaping into Mexico. 2 killed after plane carrying aid to Jamaica crashes in Florida lake. Illegal immigrant arrested after opening fire on ICE agents in Chicago. Strange signal detected from mysterious interstellar visitor 3I Atlas as it moves closer to Earth. Facing death threats, American man releases documentary about India's poop-throwing festival. The comments are the best. Beloved Toronto cafe known for whimsical cakes and treats set to close. We're going out in a blaze of glory. Zelensky ally fled Ukraine before FBI-linked search, says media. China preparing to bring home astronauts stranded on space station. DOJ throws weight behind 2020 conspiracy theories. Massey calls out reported Capitol Police involvement in January 6 bomb. November 12, 2025. Jeffries predicts House Democrats will be strongly opposed to bill to reopen federal government. Republicans demand tougher abortion restrictions to extend Obamacare funds. From leverage to lies, Democrats were always responsible for shutdown suffering. DOJ launches investigation into UC Berkeley over Antifa mob violence at TPUSA event. Large Turkish military transport plane falls from sky. UNICEF says Israel blocking 1 million syringes needed to vaccinate Gaza children. Mayhem as Marriott-branded hotels abruptly file for bankruptcy and shock guests around the world are kicked out mid-stay. Bridge to nowhere, China's engineering marvel turns to dust as newly opened bridge plunges into gorge. OpenAI could be blowing as much as $15 million per day on silly Sora videos. Europe's AI surveillance race against the rules that protect privacy. Epstein files are about to spill into the open, says Wolf. Society dips to a new low after fake country artist breaking Rust clinches #1 spot. Why Elon Musk needs Dungeons & Dragons to be racist. Kim Kardashian fails California bar exam even though 4 psychics told her she'd pass. Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner delete photos with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Amy Schumer deletes all her pre-weight loss photos for no reason. Kathy Griffin reveals eye-popping cost of her latest facelift. November 13th, 2025. Game over. Dems push for illegal alien health care implodes as House passes bill to reopen government. Donald Trump is a lamer duck than ever. Epstein said Trump knew about the girls in 2019 email, House Democrats say. Epstein emails call Trump a maniac with early dementia. Trump's troubles worsen as Speaker Mike Johnson caves amid MAGA mutiny with bill to release all Epstein files next week. Trump sought to get Boebert to drop her name from Epstein discharge petition. Ukraine's Energygate scandal explained why it spells danger for Vladimir Zelensky. Former Newsom chief of staff arrested, accused of stealing $225,000 and funneling funds to private accounts. California revokes 17,000 commercial driver's licenses for immigrants. U.S. Catholic bishops call for end to dehumanizing rhetoric on immigrants. Judge acquits Toronto teen who stabbed unarmed 18-year-old and mocked his death. Food influencer Michael Duarte shot to death by cops. Diddy will spend more time behind bars as release date gets pushed back amid alleged rule violations. The U.S. just produced its last penny after more than a 200-year run. New study from Chinese and American scientists warn of incoming ice age. Rare cannibal CME set to slam Earth, raising risk of ground-level radiation surge and threats to critical infrastructure. It's not just the Louvre. French museums are losing the war with thieves. November 14, 2025. TSA officers awarded $10,000 bonuses for working through government shutdown with more checks anticipated. $28 billion hemp industry faces extinction with government reopening. Workers turn to polyworking to combat frozen salaries and inflation. Pajama revolt. DNC staff slam callous return to office rule leading to online mockery. Trump pollster warns President Trump's numbers have plunged to historic lows and that if Trump doesn't correct his actions and messaging now, MAGA is doomed. J.D. Vance received a dire warning about the Groyper takeover of the GOP from a strange source. We need to get out of here. Trump's immigration crackdown reshapes where immigrants live in America. Hegseth announces Operation Southern Spear to quash narco-terrorists. Colombian leader labels Trump's barbarian over Caribbean strikes. There's a reason this time feels different with Epstein and Trump. It's right there in the letters. Epstein emails land with a thud for conspiracy theorists who have fueled the scandal. China plans to unleash robot wolves onto Taiwanese beaches in drone-led invasion. Stranded Chinese astronauts on way home after window cracks found in Shenzhou 20. Italy probes Sarajevo sniper safaris. What were they? Who was involved? Elena Haba's office ransacked by man who tried to enter with bat, sources say. You can now create AI avatars of your deceased loved ones so they can talk to your kids 30 years in the future. Shohei Ohtani wins 4th MVP award, joining Barry Bonds as only player with more than 3. November 15, 2025. MAGA sharpens knives for Trump's ice maiden after bad week. The Epstein files sinkhole widening under Trump. Epstein email said Bill Clinton never, ever went to his island. Epstein helped Democratic lawmaker by text during Michael Cohen testimony. Jeffrey Epstein said Hillary Clinton was doing naughties with Vince Foster, who was killed under extremely suspicious circumstances. Trump cuts tariffs on beef, coffee, and other foods as inflation concerns mount. Ford CEO laments he can't fill 5,000 mechanic jobs paying $120,000 per year. We are in trouble in our country. This shrink says 75% of his patients have symptoms of TDS. Gaza war becomes cash surge for U.S. weapons makers. Iran pursues U.S. at UN after Trump admits he was in charge of June war. U.S. reopens Puerto Rico naval base as Caribbean military buildup continues. Secret U.S. memo authorizing drug boat strikes cites chemical weapons threat. Operation Dirtbag. U.S. arrests 150 illegal alien sex predators. No Java. Socialist NYC mayor-elect calls for Starbucks boycott during Red Cup rebellion. New Jersey. Pilot father is first documented death from meat allergy caused by tick bite. How to track Kash Patel's jet. Disney settles dispute with YouTube TV, allowing ABC and ESPN to return to channel lineups. November 16th, 2025. Newly released records. Dem rep caught texting with Epstein to help steer questioning during congressional hearing. Marjorie Taylor Greene unveils new AFAO movement to replace MAGA as anti-Trump GOP rebellion explodes. I'm hardcore. Consumers ditch restaurants for groceries as budgets break. Killed THC loophole could hurt states and businesses, cannabis advocates say. Here's how much last U.S. pennies could fetch up to after Mint shuts down production, says experts. $10,000 worth of baseball and Pokemon merchandise jacked from Tom Brady's collectible card store. Content creator Jack Doherty arrested in Florida. Senator John Fetterman shares graphic photo of his injuries after cardiac event triggered a fall, 20 stitches later. More liberals and people of color and LGBTQ Americans say they're buying guns out of fear. Prosecutor appoints himself for Trump's Georgia election after failing to find replacement for Fani Willis. Marco Rubio wants to imprison you on terror charges for supporting Nazi punchers. The Pentagon is spending millions on AI hackers. Trump, 79, crashes wedding to ramble about heaven. U.S. sanctions Ukrainian firms for selling drone parts to Iran. Clashes in Mexico City amid Gen Z-style protests over crime and corruption. British sniper tourists paid to shoot at children in Sarajevo siege. So, what do you think about the FBI's update on the investigation into Trump's assassin? November 17th, 2025. Trump furiously concedes defeat on Epstein to avert MAGA mutiny as he takes parting shot at ally-turned-foe Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care. Epstein is the only thing that could turn Trump's base against him. Trump calls for House Republicans to vote to release Epstein files. Time to move on from this Democrat hoax. Jeffrey Epstein's brother says, Bubba wasn't Bill Clinton. It's another guy. Ford carrier adds to U.S. military buildup near Venezuela. U.S. to designate Venezuela's Cartel de los Solis as terrorist organization. Indictment of ex-Newsom aide hints at Fed's probe into state's earlier investigation of video game giant. Bosnian-born U.S. citizen pleads guilty to lying about wartime crimes to obtain citizenship. Midas touch. Zelensky embroiled in golden toilet scandal as allies accused in $100 million scheme. At a secret Harvard site, a massive archive of Israeliana is kept in case Israel falls. German auction of Nazi death camp artifacts canceled after outcry. World's first government-backed AI cyber attack detected, Chinese blamed. Wall Street blows past bubble worries to supercharge AI spending frenzy. The Rolls-Royce of Turkey is coming to America. China's Queen Bao C is blamed for thousands of years. Science has cleared her name. New nightmare just dropped. Scientists discover horned Lucifer bee. Filmmaker declares existence of UFOs no longer a question as Doc probes 80 years of secrets. November 18th, 2025. Thomas Massie a little suspicious of Trump reversal on Epstein files. Harvard's ex-president steps back in disgrace after emails reveal he cozied up to wingman Epstein for sex tips. Trump says he will sell F-35s to Saudi Arabia on eve of Crown Prince's Washington visit. Attempted Trump assassin Thomas Crook's social media exposed. New findings reveal shooter's furry fetish went by they-them. Democrats agree violent political rhetoric is at fault for Charlie Kirk's assassination. Left-wing dark money groups get dirty to take key House seat. The easy way to crush the mainstream media. BBC determined to fight billion-dollar Trump defamation suit. Most loyal customer Trump talks affordability at McDonald's summit. Trump unveils FIFA Pass fast-track visa program for 2026 World Cup fans. More families to be deported to stop UK being destination of choice for refugees. How a mercenary became a Minneapolis mall cop. Fear engulfs Bitcoin traders betting on freefall to $80,000. Viral Beyoncé fan feared mental health honesty might down her piloting career. People are trying to figure out why Danish Christmas cookies are made in India, and it's starting a new propaganda war. More women are renting dresses, coats, and ugly sweaters as clothing prices tick up. Prisoner sues for right to eat Vegemite in prison. November 19th, 2025. Senate greenlights Epstein Files Transparency Act. All the Epstein files will be released after just one Trump supporter votes against bill. Trump to female reporter who asked him about the Epstein files. Quiet, piggy. Hakeem Jeffries stung by new Jeffrey Epstein revelations. Jeffries struggled with these questions about Epstein and Stacey Plaskett. Crockett misfires and factually challenged attack on Lee Zeldin over Jeffrey Epstein. Blames him for taking donations from another Epstein. Really good friends. Trump lauds Saudi leader during lavish visit. Saudi Crown Prince increases planned U.S. investments to $1 trillion. Trump threatens to cancel World Cup in Seattle after election of communist mayor. Stage 4 TDS. Military veterans in Congress tell troops to defy commands in viral video. Socialist Zoran Mamdani won't stop asking his supporters to redistribute wealth to him. Mamdani inflames critics by backing hardline Muslim who blames white Americans for 9/11. Single faulty wire led cargo ship to crash into Baltimore Bridge, says report. Soros-funded NGO that tried to kill Musk's Twitter, says media. Klimt portrait becomes most valuable modern artwork, selling for $236.4 million. Astronaut wife admits to lying about spouse committing first crime in space on 3-month mission. D4VD investigators view him as suspect in Celeste Rivas's apparent homicide. November 20th, 2025. Trump signs bill to release all Epstein files as he issues blistering 390-word tirade blaming everyone. Trump's quiet piggy outburst was extreme even for him. Report says plot to end Bush family exile. Come back to retake GOP from Trump. Trust betrayed. Democrat rep under fire after allegedly stealing $5 million of disaster relief funds for personal use. House repeals Arctic frost provision added to government funding deal. U.S. peace plan proposes Ukraine give up sovereignty. U.S. clears $93 million sale of Javelin anti-tank system and Excalibur projectiles to India. Future of trade talks depends on Canada's purchase of American fighter jets, U.S. ambassador says. UK accuses Russian spy ship of pointing lasers at pilots watching vessel. UK civil servants told to monitor social media posts about migrants. Broadview, Illinois, under civil emergency order following bomb threats and violent clashes with rioters at local ICE facility. Secret CIA report boasted about tricking Congress in JFK probe, whistleblower says. Olympian turned drug kingpin Ryan Wedding accused of ordering murder of witness. 7-Eleven cashier fired after shooting strangler says company told her to use store items for self-defense. Millions of kids are on ADHD pills. For many, it's the start of a drug cascade. Aliens? Submarines? Gassy whales? Mystery bubbles off California coast spark intrigue and theories. NASA unveils close-up images of 3I Atlas comet to counter alien spacecraft allegations. November 21st, 2025. Trump-Ukraine peace plan would cede territory to Russia, says draft proposal. Ukraine led by criminal gang on golden potties, says Putin. Outrage after Trump accuses Democrats of seditious behavior, punishable by death. House Dems are in touch with Capitol Police about Trump death threats. Texas Rep. Al Green announces plans to introduce his fifth impeachment attempt against Trump. Grammy-winning artist from famed hip-hop group is jailed for 14 years for illegally funding millions to Obama after trying to get Leonardo DiCaprio and Trump to save him. Follow the money. Blue state Somalis allegedly sent welfare money to al-Qaeda ally planning another 9/11. Oklahoma judge gives maximum 15-year sentence in foiled Election Day terrorism plan. Spying exposed. Feds secretly seized House chairman's phone data while he was overseeing DOJ. Former GOP aide allegedly stages Jussie Smollett-style hoax where she was violently attacked for her political beliefs. Coast Guard denies report it won't classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. Senior citizen who saved himself from would-be mugger headed to prison because of NYC's draconian laws. Women keep ruining the workplace. How right-wing superstar Riley Gaines built an anti-trans empire. At last, a more realistic female crash test dummy to make cars safer. Inferno engulfs COP30, sparking mass evacuation from fossil fuel talks. The middle class is buckling under almost 5 years of persistent inflation. November 22nd, 2025. Major MAGA figure Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns after Trump clash. Trump's brutal reaction to MTG quitting as heartbroken ex-loyalist says she refuses to be a battered wife. Revolution not a dinner party. House approves resolution condemning socialism. 98 Democrats refuse. Trump tells Zoran Mamdani it's okay to call him a fascist during White House meeting. Status revoked. Trump vows to send Somalis back as he axes protected status program in Minnesota. Zelensky says Ukraine faces choice of losing dignity or risking loss of key partner with U.S. plan. Lebanese president says state monopoly on weapons inevitable. Top Pentagon sources confirm Dems planning to use treasonous generals to give illegal orders to troops to overthrow Trump. The FBI wants AI surveillance drones with facial recognition. AI will make work optional and money irrelevant, says Musk. An MIT student awed top economists with his AI study. Then it all fell apart. Comer warns of possible contempt charges if Clintons avoid Epstein hearing. Senate Democrats are investigating the Kennedy Center for cronyism and corruption. California governor celebrates Biden's physical stamina and functioning brain. The first home has been rebuilt in the wake of the Palisades fire. Oregon tribe harvests beached whale for the first time in generations. Motorist in North Carolina tells 911, "I just had a bald eagle drop a cat through my windshield." November 23rd, 2025. Web of Evil. Web of depraved satanic groups brainwash school shooter. Only one culprit has been unmasked. Co-founder of Paycheck Protection Program Service sentenced for $63 million COVID-19 relief fraud scheme. Number of children abducted in Nigeria school attack raised to more than 300. Marjorie Taylor Greene no longer trusts the plan. Rogue MAGA congresswoman considers running for president, says Time. The college dreams of 80,000 undocumented California students threatened by Trump's suit. Ice Barbie makes big show of handing out fake bonus checks. Labor counselor parks 208,000-pound Lamborghini in disabled bay without blue badge. Candace Owens says French government has given green light to assassinate her. Grok's hilarious flattery of Elon Musk hides a more serious problem. Google wants to power its chatbots by filling our skies with garbage. The strange and totally real plan to blot out the sun and reverse global warming. UN climate talks end without agreement on phasing out fossil fuels. Nome announces $1 billion investment in TSA screening technology. Contract chaos. 49ers star $24.9 million guaranteed axed after he failed to attend meetings in stunning move. Trump says Zelensky can agree to peace plan or fight his little heart out. Derek Chauvin's lawyers file new petition as 50 former and current officers affirm technique he used on George Floyd was standard protocol. November 24th, 2025. Doge quietly shuts down with 8 months left on mandate. Republican lawmakers grow alarmed over signs of 2026 election wipeout. Trump brands major U.S. broadcasters arm of Democratic Party. Democrat who pushed video telling troops to disobey Trump forced to admit she can't name one illegal order. FBI concludes crooks acted alone in assassination attempt on Trump. Kash Patel goes ballistic after SWAT team he ordered to guard his young country star girlfriend ditched her mid-performance at NRA convention. Marjorie Taylor Greene refutes that she's considering running for president. Fetterman refuses to hate and be part of Democrats' fake outrage. Gunman fires on police dog before being fatally shot by officers, authorities say. He spent 37 days in jail for a Facebook post. Larry Bouchart's story is a warning to us all. Fentanyl dealer's 30-year conviction tossed after no one realized there were only 11 jurors. Prosecutors outed a confidential informant. Now a Toronto judge has tossed very serious charges, and 2 people are in grave danger. Texas men indicted in plot to take over Haitian Island and enslave women and children. Back in custody. Nationwide manhunt for Slender Man stabber ends after out-of-state capture. Total meltdown. New Epstein file dump confirms Epstein worked for not only Mossad, but also the Rothschild banking dynasty and the British royals. How corporate partnership powered university surveillance of Palestine protests. Nearly 1 in 10 Americans report a cancer diagnosis. November 25th, 2025. Arms industry investors in panic over Ukraine peace talks. Pentagon investigating serious allegations of misconduct into Senator Kelly after being accused of sedition, the seditious 6. Democrat destruction of America. Monster accused of setting 26-year-old Chicago woman on fire had 72 prior arrests. Son puts on dead mother's lipstick and jewelry to collect her pension. New Mexico. Man claims encrypted message from cockroach told him to kill 2 people. Thai woman found alive in coffin after being brought in for cremation. Tara Reid claims she was drugged in Chicago hotel, hospitalized. See video. Judge tosses Comey and James cases after finding prosecutor unlawfully appointed. Fear is the tool of a tyrant. Exiting Justice Department workers sound alarms. MAGA's astounding hypocrisy when it comes to civility is on full display. Even Trump wants to extend Obamacare tax credits, but Republicans stopped him. Terminal chaos. Bombshell report alleges Biden team pushed airports to house migrants, risking safety. Foreign operatives revealed. New X feature identifies wave of accounts behind misinformation push. Suspicions raised as Wormtongue's X account reveals he's based in Isengard. Trump signs order launching Genesis mission to expedite scientific discovery using AI. China sends emergency return vehicle to space station to replace damaged craft. Drought killer. California storms fill reservoirs and build up Sierra snowpack. November 26, 2025. EU can no longer consider U.S. an ally, says ex-Bloc foreign policy chief. Richard Branson announces death of his wife and best friend of 50 years, Joan. More people are addicted to marijuana, but fewer of them are seeking help, experts say. Student tourist who lost arm and leg in NYC subway accident wins staggering $82 million verdict. Texas. Strongman Games World Championship disqualifies winner, strips him of women's open title victory after discovering he's biologically male. U.S. ready to cut support to scouts, accusing them of attacking boy-friendly spaces. Donald Trump asks for Rush Hour 4, Paramount gets to work. White House discovers Democrat Party coup plan run by the CIA. California Attorney General sues Trump administration to stop homeless housing cuts. How Marjorie Taylor Greene locked in her taxpayer-funded pension for life. Might just save us. California Democrat says troops privately vow to act as check on Trump's orders. Trump weighing the ouster of Kash Patel, according to sources. No, FBI Director Kash Patel isn't being fired. Trump says he almost named White House turkeys Chuck and Nancy. Trump's FBI follows Hegseth's lead in seeking revenge on Dems. FBI seeks interviews with 6 Democrats Trump accused of seditious behavior. Judge tosses conviction of Somali who ripped off Minnesota taxpayers. November 27, 2025. Gunman critically wounds 2 National Guard members in D.C. ambush. CIA head reveals National Guard shooting suspect worked with spy agency in Afghanistan as Trump blasts Biden for flying him into the U.S. during disastrous 2021 withdrawal from war-torn country. Under the radar, Ratcliffe cites alleged Guard shooter's ties to CIA and other U.S. agencies in Afghanistan. Trump says must reevaluate all immigrants from Afghanistan who came under Biden. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. Hegseth orders 500 more troops to D.C. in wake of National Guard shooting. Death toll hits 55 in Hong Kong's worst fire in 7 decades. Trump's strategy of hiring lawyers based on bus size not working out as well as anticipated. South Park humiliates effing D-bag Pete Hegseth. Google's hot new AI coding tool was hacked a day after launch. CDC shuts down monkey labs amid tuberculosis time bomb fears. This commission that regulates crypto could just be one guy, says an industry lawyer. Wealthy California coastal city bans pickleball, saying it turned into a madhouse. Blue-furred dogs are prowling the Chernobyl disaster site. Here's why. Iranian Tech Expo features robots that are just humans in costumes. At long last, the mystery of lightning on Mars is solved. Telescope in Chile captures stunning new picture of a cosmic butterfly. Meta turned a blind eye to sex trafficking, says court filings. November 28, 2025. Trump says one of the 2 West Virginia National Guard members shot by Afghan national has died. Security sweep. Trump says man accused in D.C. attack went cuckoo, vows full-scale review of all green cards. Trump says he will permanently pause migration from third world countries after National Guard shooting. Trump says U.S. will stop Venezuelan drug trafficking by land soon. Trump rages at stupid female reporter for correcting him. FBI sees dramatic rise in nihilistic violent extremism arrests this year. Will a Turkish Qatari shield protect the Muslim Brotherhood from Trump? Is Marjorie Taylor Greene joining The View? Insiders reveal MTG's next move after quitting Congress. How the nation's power grid will handle the $2.5 trillion AI boom. 2 consult directors arrested as Hong Kong fire death toll rises to 94. Vatican warns against polygamy. Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman allegedly witnessed Ryan Reynolds confront tearful Justin Baldoni about fat-shaming Blake Lively. Johnny Cash estate sues Coca-Cola, accusing company of pirating Cash's voice for ad campaign. This smug California Karen thinks she knows how to talk to her transphobic uncle at Thanksgiving. Moment Grinch on an e-bike snatches Nutcracker statue. Soleil, a Belgian sheepdog, takes best in show at the National Dog Show. Pile of puppies cheers up seriously ill kids with small furry bundles of joy. Season of Sharing 2025. November 29th, 2025. National Guard shooting suspect served in CIA counterterrorism unit, group says. U.S. halts all asylum decisions as Trump vows immigration changes after D.C. shooting. College freshman is deported flying home for Thanksgiving surprise, despite court order. Trump says he's canceling executive orders signed by Biden autopen. Hezbollah leader leaves open possibility of new war with Israel. Zelensky's chief of staff and lead negotiator in U.S. talks resigns after anti-corruption investigators search his home and office. Hegseth gave a spoken order to kill everybody in first Caribbean boat strike, officials say. Hegseth defends strikes after WAPO kill everybody story. Fake news. German court arrests Nord Stream blast suspect. Trump says South Africa won't be invited to 2026 Miami G20 summit. Will California's new K-12 anti-Semitism law make up for Trump's civil rights cuts? Major travel disruption ahead after 6,000 aircrafts found unsafe to fly. Worldwide markets roiled by data center snafu in Chicago suburb. Interest payment on national debt hits record $104.4 billion for 1 month. Come see how cooked we are, Chet. Diddy organizes and bankrolls Thanksgiving for 1,000 Fort Dix inmates. Edirne to sink city's miniature underwater to boost diving tourism. Ancient Chinese DNA shows gender bias in human sacrifice ritual 4,000 years ago. November 30th, 2025. Trump declares Venezuelan airspace closed, something he has no authority to do. Venezuela denounces Trump's airspace remarks as colonialist threat. Report says DOJ determined drug boat strikes are legal under U.S. and international law in classified memo. An intended target. Afghan welcome by Biden admin arrested over allegedly making terroristic threat with bomb. Serial spitter who allegedly targeted white women is beaten by gang in the street. We're worse than jail. Kash Patel reveals FBI and DOJ executing multiple options on James Comey. Patel signals Comey case is far from over. Stay tuned. The ex-president, whom Trump plans to pardon, flooded America with cocaine. White House forced to correct childish anti-media site. FDA claims COVID shots killed 10 children and vows new vaccine rules. Young people forego homeownership to invest in the stock market. 45 vehicles involved in major pileup in Indiana amid snowy conditions as authorities urge residents to stay home. Stand back. Oregon governor threatens to investigate and prosecute federal agents enforcing immigration laws. Man arrested in the UK for posing with gun more than 4,000 miles away in the U.S. Newly unveiled photos of MLK Jr. show depth of NYPD's surveillance. Colleges are preparing to self-lobotomize. Russian scientists successfully tested a fleet of remote-controlled cyborg spy pigeons.